Justin Bieber just shocked the music world again. Out of nowhere, he dropped a brand new album called Washington GII. But the way it happened has everyone talking. Fans stayed up all night refreshing Spotify and Apple Music, waiting for it to appear. And Justin himself was joking online about the chaos. But once the album finally went live, it wasn't just the surprise release that had people buzzing, it was the hidden messages inside the songs. From cryptic lyrics about his marriage to Hailey, to emotional confessions about his mental health, and even worldwide billboards featuring his baby boy. This wasn't just an album drop, it was a statement. And what Justin revealed through Washington GI may change the way fans see him forever. The Midnight Chaos. When Justin promised fans that Washington GI would arrive at midnight, believers were ready. Thousands stayed awake, refreshing their streaming apps, waiting for the moment the new music would appear. But midnight came and nothing happened. Instead, Justin was right there with them, posting on Instagram stories like a fan stuck in limbo. He teased, "I'm sorry for the wait. They're telling me any second." And later joked, "It's not clocking to Spotify." Refresh loading. The delay created chaos, online memes, frantic tweets, and fans begging for answers. And then, just when frustration reached its peak, the album finally dropped. Justin exploded with excitement, posting, The wait was over, and what fans discovered inside Washington GI was way bigger than the midnight drama. A massive tracklist, big features. The first thing fans noticed when Washington GII finally went live was just how huge it was. 23 tracks, almost double what most artists would dare to release in one shot. And Justin didn't hold back on the collaborations either. The album brought in big names like Tums, whose soulful vocals gave the project an international edge, and cult favorite Lil B, adding a raw, unexpected energy. For longtime fans, this wasn't just a collection of songs, it felt like Justin was opening up a whole new chapter. But what truly shocked listeners wasn't the guest list or the number of tracks, it was the messages buried inside the lyrics. Hidden messages in the lyrics. As fans began dissecting the album, certain lyrics stood out immediately. On the track Don't Wanna, Justin sings, "I don't want to mess this up. I don't want you to leave. You said you lost your wings when we broke it off. But now I'm back at your door." Listeners quickly connected the dots. Was this a direct reference to his 2016 breakup with Hailey before they reconciled in 2018? The lines felt too personal to ignore, and speculation exploded online. And that wasn't the only track raising eyebrows. Songs like Mother in You and Better Man carried themes of love, redemption, and rebuilding, almost like Justin was leaving behind hidden letters for his fans, each one offering a deeper glimpse into his relationship and his mindset. But even beyond the lyrics, Justin found another way to make this album release feel personal by bringing his entire family into the spotlight. Family on display. To make sure the world knew this album was more than just music, Justin launched a global campaign unlike anything he'd done before. Across cities like London, Paris, and Los Angeles, massive billboards and late-night projections lit up with images of Justin, Hailey, and their one-year-old son, Jack Blues. For fans, it was a rare, intimate glimpse into his family life, something Justin has carefully guarded for years. Outside the legendary Whiskey A Go-Go in West Hollywood, entire walls were covered with a pink Washington GI artwork, signaling that this release was meant to be unforgettable. It wasn't just a promotion, it was Justin saying, "This is who I am now, not just an artist, but a husband and a father." But the deeper listeners went into the album, the more they realized Justin wasn't only celebrating his family, it was also opening up about some of his darkest struggles. Mental health reflections. Justin's fans have always known he's carried heavy pressure, but on Washington GII, he doesn't hold back from admitting just how much it's affected him. Back in July on the first Washington G album, He included Therapy Session, a raw interlude with comedian Drusky, where he spoke about struggling under the weight of being in the spotlight. He admitted, "People are always asking if I'm okay, and that starts to really weigh on me." Now, on Washington GII, he takes that honesty even further. In the track Speed Demon, Justin fires back at critics, saying, "They try to say I'm out of my mind, but now they're singing every line. Got a lot of mountains to climb, had to leave some beggars behind." It's a mix of defiance and vulnerability, showing that while he's been judged, he's also rising above it. For many fans, these lines felt like Justin was pulling back the curtain, exposing the side of himself that the headlines never show. The Iceland sessions. Long before anyone knew about Washington GII, whispers started back in May that Justin had slipped away to Iceland to work on new music. At first, fans weren't sure if it was just a getaway or something bigger. But when Washington G dropped in July, and then Washington GII only weeks later, it became clear those Iceland sessions were more than just rumors. They were the birthplace of his comeback. The icy landscapes and quiet isolation gave him space to reset, far from the noise of Los Angeles and the constant media spotlight. For some fans, this explained the album's raw energy and introspective lyrics. The cold, distant environment may have been exactly what Justin needed to craft music that feels both deeply personal and refreshingly bold. And it's not the first time he's left fans stunned with a sudden creative shift. Comparing Washington G and Washington GII, only a handful of artists would dare to release two full albums just weeks apart, but Justin did exactly that. In July, he gave fans Washington G, his first project since 2021's Justice. That record leaned heavily on themes of love, devotion, and his marriage to Hailey, with tracks like Daisy's Devotion and Walking Away sparking endless fan theories. Just when people thought they had the vibe figured out, Justin flipped the script with Washington GII. This second installment feels bigger, louder, and more revealing. Where Washington G sounded like an intimate journal, Washington GII plays like a bold statement. The personal confessions are still there, but they're wrapped in confidence, almost like Justin saying, "I faced the worst of it, and now I'm standing taller than ever." Together, the two albums don't just show growth, they map out a transformation in real time, almost as if fans are watching Justin rebuild himself through music. But the real question isn't about how these albums compare, it's about what they mean for Justin's future. With Washington G and Washington GII, Justin Bieber has done something rare in today's music industry, releasing two full-length projects in less than 2 months. For some, it feels like a creative burst that came out of nowhere. For others, it's proof that Justin is stepping into a completely new era. One where he's no longer afraid to be vulnerable, experimental, and even unpredictable. Between the hidden love notes to Hailey, the raw confessions about his mental health, and the global rollout featuring his family, this wasn't just about dropping music, it was about rewriting his image. And that leaves fans asking the ultimate question: if this is only the beginning of Justin's new chapter, what could possibly come next? One thing's for sure, nobody is refreshing Spotify faster than Beliebers right now.